Hands down, the worst part about having kids is how fast they grow up. And the time has come for me to convert my son's crib that I built into a bed. And these have been my most popular set of plans by far, so a lot of you may be ready for this stage as well. There are several options when it comes to converting a crib, which I'll talk more about later on, but to start mine, I'm going to build a footboard to match, which is basically just a short version of the existing headboard. To start, I'm just gluing a couple pieces together to get the thickness I need for the two legs. With those drying, I could move on to breaking down the rest of the white oak, but I just want to highlight something that I do for literally every project, but doesn't really get talked about enough, and that's checking the moisture content in the material first, to make sure it's safe and ready to be worked with. As wood dries, it can warp, twist, split, you name it. And obviously, you don't want any of that happening to your material after you've built your project with it. So this is a Wagner Orion 930 meter that I use, and there's several awesome features, with the main one being that it's a pinless meter. So I can check an entire board, which is important in itself, without leaving holes all over like other meters. This also allows me to bring the meter to my wood supplier and check it there, again without damaging all their material. And the Wagner meters have IntelliSense technology, which penetrates and reads the moisture in the wood, not just the outer surface. And this model that I have allows you to switch between reading a 1/4 inch deep or 3/4 of an inch deep. For example, I have this 1/2 inch plywood, and with the meter set to 3/4 of an inch, it will actually pick up moisture from my hand when I put it on the other side. Pretty cool. This can be talked about so much more, but just to keep it somewhat brief, for material that I have acclimated to my shop, I generally look for somewhere around 8 to 10%, and I also want all the boards I'm using to be consistent between pieces. I'll leave a link below so you can check the meter out more, and just to be transparent, Wagner Meters reached out and wanted to send me one to try out, but I told them I've already owned one for a very long time and already use it every project. So I truly know how awesome and important they are. These quality meters are an investment for sure, but it's worth it to eliminate any issues when it comes to moisture. So with all my pieces picked out that I was going to use, I could go ahead and get it all processed and cut down to final size. To put the rails and stiles together for the footboard, I'm using the same shaker router bit set that I used on the crib. Starting with cutting the tongues on both ends of the vertical pieces, and then creating the grooves on the edges of every piece. The middle stiles need the groove cut on both sides. And then for the 1/2 inch center panels, I used the same router bit, just adjusting the height to create a rabbet on all 4 sides that slide into the grooves on the frame pieces. Since these are solid wood pieces that I'm using for the panels, I like to go ahead and apply finish before assembly. And this is so if the pieces do shrink a little as seasons change, an unfinished edge won't appear around the perimeter, versus if I waited to apply finish after it was assembled in those grooves. And just like before, I'm using Rubio Monaco in the color Natural here. With the finish applied, it's just a matter of adding glue to the tongues and clamping up to dry. I do have a center line marked on each of those middle stiles, and marks laid out where they go on the rails as well, to make sure they're all evenly spaced. After the panel and legs were dry, I could go ahead and get them joined together, along with the top cap at the same time. And just so I don't keep saying it, I'm keeping much of the process here the same as when I built the crib. Therefore, I'm using dowels for the joinery. These are face and edge grain joints here, so just glue would actually be very strong, but adding the dowels keeps everything lined up right in the center, and of course does add a lot of strength. After marking out all the dowel holes, next I take an awl to make an indent right on my mark that I can then stick the tip of a brad point drill bit in to make the holes. Especially on an open wood grain like oak, it helps make it super accurate so your drill bit stays right where you want it. Of course, after doing a dry fit, just to make sure everything was good, I could add glue and get it clamped to dry. On longer bar clamps like this, they do want to bow pretty easily, so it's important not to add too much force, just enough to pull the joints tight. Adding clamps from both sides helps make sure those legs aren't twisting and are staying square to the panel as well. At this point, you could be done if you wanted to be. If you just wanted to get a bed frame and then bolt the headboard and footboard to it, you've got a beautiful full-size bed. But if you're like me and can never have enough storage space for the kids' stuff, especially my son who is the youngest, so he gets stuck with a pretty small bedroom, so I'm going to keep it going by building a mattress platform with drawers underneath. First, getting the two face frames knocked out with pocket screws from the backside. And then, just to be done with the solid wood portions of the build, I moved on to making all the drawer fronts. And this is the exact same process as I already showed with the footboard, so I'll just quickly get through this. One thing I do like to do though, since I cut that center panel just slightly undersized, after it's clamped up, I'll flip it over and just eyeball it to get that panel centered in the opening, and then I'll take a couple half-inch long 23 gauge pins and shoot through the frame into the ends of those panels to keep them in place in the center. Moving on to all the plywood to finish this thing up. And as I break this down, I'll just talk more about the plans. I've made a crib conversions file, and it'll be linked down below, and in there will be the toddler rail, the footboard, and then the mattress platform all separately. All in one file, but separate. So like I said, you can just choose and build only what you want, but you'll have access to all of it. Assembly here is real quick and easy, tacking the pieces in place with brad nails and then following it up with countersunk screws. For the metal dividers, I'm using the stretchers that go on the front side as spacers to make sure all the openings come out even and square. To attach the face frames, I decided to go ahead and drill pocket holes all around the perimeter. I could have thought ahead and did this before assembly with my other Craig jig, but no big deal to get it done with one of the smaller jigs here. Next, I could add the top panels. I did leave the bottoms open just to save on weight and cost since they're not necessary. Now, because a full-size bed is wider than a sheet of plywood, there is space in the middle that needs filled in. It's probably not totally necessary either, but easy enough to do. Just adding a ledger strip on each box that the strip will sit on and get screwed to. Next up was all the drawers. With the pieces cut to size, I just needed to cut a groove in all of them for the bottom panel. Then before assembly, I got edge bedding applied to all the top edges. And if only this step went as fast in real life as it does here in the video. These drawers are huge, and I swear you just can't beat beds like this for kids. Next, I rounded over that top edge on the platforms, got my drawer hardware holes drilled, did my final sanding, and then I was ready for finish. Rubio Monaco in general is such an easy finishing process, but it is quite a workout on larger pieces like this, really making sure I'm buffing it into the open pores of the oak. With the new pieces drying, I moved my attention to the existing headboard from the crib and dealing with the holes from the crib side panels. I had three things I wanted to try, one using a plug cutter to make my own plugs. I had some materials somewhat close in color, and this is definitely a good option. Option 2 was these fast caps from the company Fast Cap, and these are basically just real wood stickers. They make several colors and wood species, so you can take a Forstner bit and just make a slight recess so they end up flush with your project too if you want. But what I ended up using was these 3/8 oak buttons. After adding finish, the color was just great and they're barely noticeable. They're just a good friction fit too, not glued in or anything. So in 20 or 30 years, when my kids have kids, this can be used again as a crib. Now to finish up the drawers, I first need to add filler strips in each opening to make the slides flush with the face frame. I like to cut these the same width as the drawer slides, and you'll see my spacer block I'm using to sit them on is just some layers of particle board I had nailed together, so I'm able to set both the filler and the slide on it to get them installed. And I do have the boxes upside down here, for one so both you and I can see what I'm doing, and also so the spacer block is referencing off of and sitting on that top panel. For the inset fronts, it's hard to beat using playing cards as spacers all around, and then using the holes already drilled in the front to temporarily hold until you drive screws from the inside. To attach the headboard and footboard, you can just run some screws from inside the box into the legs, or like on the headboard, I already have a through hole for a bolt on the crib, so using that existing hole, I ran a drill bit in to make a mark on the box on the other side. Then on that mark, I could continue drilling a hole to install a threaded insert. And just like that, a very strong connection that is easy to take apart and reassemble. And that'll do it. As a parent, it's always bittersweet reaching these milestones, but at least this way we get to keep using part of the crib that I built, and hopefully for more generations to come.